Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Connect Civilians. So in this lecture we will see how to design a staircase which are supported on the side beams for landing one or floor level, and for the mid landing it is supported into wall or beam which is parallel to the flight. Okay, so this is how it looks, and then this will be a, so it is a dogleg. Okay, we are going to design a dogleg staircase. So somehow this will be a landing 1 and this will be a landing 2, and it is divided into two parts, first flight and the second flight. Okay, now this flight is supported on the floor beam here. So this beam, that is B2, yes, similar here it is B1. Okay, so here it is wall on the both the sides, and for mid landing it is supported on this wall or beam, whatever you want to say. Okay, if there is a wall, maybe a beam. Okay, so it is supported in this, so it will look somehow like this. This will be a landing 1, this will be a flight, and up to mid landing it is this, like this. And this will be a beam here, beam or wall. Okay, and here it is on side of the landing. So in plan it will be shown like this. Okay, so sorry, in elevation it is shown like this. That is, if we cut this section, so B1 will be seen. Okay, so this is how it is supported. So this condition is occurred during the construction, so you can easily design like this, because floor beam may be available for the wall or for the partition of slab, and for the landing the floor beam is not available, so it will be land into your wall or mid beam. Okay, like this. So we are going to design this staircase in this lecture. So we are going to assume some other conditions here, that is live load we are going to take as 5 kN per meter square, finished load is 1 kN per meter square, and riser and tread we consider as 160 mm and 270 mm. So riser is this. So riser is, if you go like this will be your steps here. Okay, so riser will be this and tread will be this. Okay, this one, riser will be this one. So we are going to consider riser as 160 and tread as 270. So first we have to find the effective length for this. If we cut the section for this, so we are going to design like this. So this will be a section 2 to n for landing 1, this will be a 1 section. Okay, so we are to find the effective length for this section 2 for the design of uh, steel for flight 1 and for landing 2. Okay, so this length is, the landing width was 1.5 meter here. Okay, Similarly, for landing 2 it is 1.5 meter, and this beam or wall, whatever is present on your condition, is 300 mm. For me it is 300 mm. Okay, so we have to calculate the effective span for the waist slab and landing. And what is the waist slab? This is the waist slab. Okay, the slab that is supporting the steps. Okay, so this will be the waist slab. Now we have to find the effective span. The formula for that is 1500 plus 2700 is this 2.7 meter, the length of the flight. Okay, so these value is given to you, or you can find by the riser and by the height of your floor level. Okay, so this value is present for the design consideration. So effective length will be 1.5 meter divided by 2 plus 2.7 plus 1.5, this full length, plus center of the beam, that is 300 by 2. Okay, and for this, as beam is supported on both sideways, sorry, slab is supported on sideways, so you have to consider a center of this for the effective span calculation. Okay, 1.5. Okay, this center for 1.5 it is 750. So from here to the mid of this. Okay, so this will be effective span. So it will come as 5100 mm. So from this we can find the depth of the waist slab, that is L by 20, or simply supported. So our depth will come as 255. So we are going to assume the total depth as 250. You can take it more than that, 270, 280, whatever you want, but I am going to consider this value. If it is not able to safe in deflection, then we are going to change again and we will design again, but for the initial we are going to consider the total depth as 250 mm. Okay, so you can take more than or equal to or whatever you want to, but don't take less than 20 mm from this. Okay, this will give you a general idea so what depth is required, because after loading the will be different or maybe fail in deflection, so we can go with the 250 mm. So effective depth will be calculated as 250 minus clear cover minus dia of the bar by 2. Okay, so we are considering dia of the bar as 12 mm. We will write here dia of main reinforcement as 12 mm. Okay, so we are going to consider the 12 mm for all the waist slab and landing. Okay, as a main reinforcement. So now here, so effective depth will calculate as 224, total depth minus clear cover minus dia of the bar by 2, that is center of the bar, so it will come as 224 mm. So we can assume the depth of the landing slab as 200 mm, or you can find by that method. Okay, but like this, but what we are doing here, we are considering the depth of the waist slab as total depth is 250, so we are going to take as around that only, so we are going to take as 200 mm. Okay, so we are not going to again repeat the same procedure, just directly you can take the depth by this method. Okay, so you can take a equal to the base slab, or you can go with 200 mm. Okay, so effective depth will be calculated as 200 minus clear cover minus the y by 2, that is 174 mm. Now if anything will be not be safe in deflection, you can check, we can again change the depth. So now we are going for the load calculation. So we have riser as 160 mm and trade as 270 mm. So we can find the incline length, this length. Okay, this will be your step. So we can find this length. Okay, for the calculation of self weight of slab. Okay, this. So it will come as, if you apply the Pythagoras. Okay, so it will come as 160 to the whole square plus 270 whole square root. So we apply Pythagoras theorem, that is hypotenuse equal to perpendicular plus base. So you can find the value of inclined length as 313.85 mm. Okay, so this length is available. Now we can find the self weight of base slab. This for this slab, the lower slab. So this is density of concrete. Okay, 25 into 0.25 is the tread. Okay, plus multiply by 13.85, that is the inclined length, multiply by 1 by 270. Okay, that is per meter of tread. Okay, per tread value. So our self weight will calculate as 7.265 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so this is the thickness of your waist slab. Okay, sorry, this is 250, we have already assumed. So this is 0.25 the thickness of your waist slab. Okay, so our total self weight is calculated as of for waist slab is 7.265 kilonewton per meter square. Now we are going to calculate self weight of steps. So it is the average of the riser value. So this is density of concrete 25 into r by 2. So it will come as 25 into 0.16, that is 160 mm is the riser by 2. So it will come as 2 kilonewton per meter square. And floor finish we have already considered as 1 kilonewton per meter square. Live load as 5 kilonewton per meter square. So you can check IS code 875 part 1 and 2 for the live and dead load consideration. Okay, so now we are going to total the loads ongoing as 1.5. So we are going to take the ultimate load here, 1.5 into 15.265, that is 5 plus 1 plus 2 plus 7.265, that is 15.265. So it will come as 22.9 kilonewton per meter square ongoing only. So ongoing is the flight. Okay, so you don't have to confuse ongoing. So these steps from here to here is ongoing plan. Okay, so for ongoing our load is calculated as 22.9 kilonewton per meter square. Now we are going to calculate for the landing one, that is the floor level beam, oh sorry, landing. So self weight of for landing slab is, we already considered the landing width as 0.2 meter, so 0.2, that is 200 mm. So this will be for landing second. Okay, landing 2, that is for mid level of landing. Okay, I will show you the figure here for this landing. Okay, this landing 2. Okay, so this is a mid-level landing. So self weight of landing slab is 25 into 0.25 the unit weight of concrete. It's come as 5 kN per meter square. Finish and light we have already taken as 1 and 5. So total load for landing 2 will be 11 kN per meter square. So ultimate load on landing 1, so it will be calculated as, if we multiply by factor of safety and also divided by 2, that is 50% of the landing 2 ultimate load. Okay, so it will come as 8.25 because we have considered the landing 1 from mid of the beam. Okay, so its load will be divided by 2. Okay, so 1.5 into 11 into 0.5, that is 50%, so it will come as 8.25 kN per meter square for landing 1, and for landing 2 it is 1.5 into 11, that is 16.5 kN per meter square. Okay, so load for landing 1 and landing 2 is calculated here. Now bending moment and shear force calculations. Okay, so here we are going to find the total load for per meter of width. So you can check for 1.5 meter also, because here its width is also 1.5 meter. We are going to consider from here to here it is 1.5. This is the gap between the flights, so it is 150 mm. Okay, and again this flight is 1.5, sorry, this length of landing is 1.5 from here to here. Okay, so flight 1 it is 1.5 meter, sorry. Okay, here, so here total load for per 1.5 meter of width is calculated. So I am going with for per meter of width. Okay, so you can calculate for 1.5 meter if you want, but for 1 meter, so we can follow the same still for the per meter. Okay, now how to calculate load for 1 meter of width for flight? 8.25 for landing 1 into 0.75. So we are considering the mid of this. Okay, so it is 750 here. So our reaction will be 8.25 into 0.75, that is half of 1.5 plus 22.9 load on flight into 2.7, total length of flight. Okay, it is 2.7 plus 16.5, that is load on landing 2 ultimate load into 1.65. Okay, so this effective length is 1.65. Okay, so it is 1.65 here. Okay, so that's why it is multiplied by 1.65, that is effective length for this. So total load for 1 meter of width is coming as 95.33 kilonewton. So our VA and VB, this is VA and this is VB, the reactions. Okay, so for this we have to calculate the VA. So it is 8.25 into 0.75, that is load on this into distance multiply by 5.1 minus 0.375. Okay, what is 0.375? This is, so 5.1 is the total length, and if you minus center of this up to this, so it will come as 0.375 plus 22.9 load on this into 2.7 multiply by 5.1, total length minus 0.75, this minus 1.35. okay, plus 16.5 load on this into 1.65 into 1. That is WL square, okay, into 0.5, that is mid of this 1 by 2. okay, it is 1 by 2, so WL square by 2 this. okay, W into that is 16.5 into 1.65 multiply 1.65 by 2. okay, and divided by total length, that is 5.1. okay, so how 0.375 and 1.35 is taken, I will explain here. So 0.375 is the center of 0.75 for landing one. okay, it is center of this. okay, so if we deduct this 5.1 minus center of this, then value will come, and here it is 5.1, the total length minus 0.75 this one, and minus center of this. okay, 2.7 minus 1. If you minus 2.7 by 2, we will get 1.35. okay, so 5.1 minus 0.75 minus 1.35. okay, from here, so this value will become, so our reaction is come as 46.55 VA for VA. okay, similarly for VB, total load 95.33 minus 46.55, so our VB will come as 48.78, this one reaction VB. okay, now we have both the reactions, so we can find the critical length of the shear force. okay, where shear force is 0. okay, from VA or A side, so it will come as distance from the left where shear force is obtained as 0 as 46.55, that is VA, minus 8.25, that is load on landing 1, ultimate load on landing 1, multiply by 0.75 the length from mid, plus 22.9 is the ultimate load on the flight, multiply by 0.75 divided by 22.9. okay, so it will come as 2.51. so critical section where shear force is considered as 0 as 2.51. okay, from A point. Now for calculation of maximum bending moment at 2.151 meter from left side is 46.55, that is the VA, multiply by 2.51 this distance. oh, see, it is a clockwise, so we can take it positive. For anti-clockwise we can take a negative. okay, minus 8.25 load on this into 0.75 multiply by 2.51 minus 0.375. okay, center of this, minus 22.9 load on this, multiply by length, so 2.51 minus 0.75 multiply by 2.51 minus 0.75, so it is WL square. That's why we are taking like this. okay, like this, so it is WL square. okay, multiply 0.5, that is 1 by 2, so it will come as maximum bending moment at 2.51 will come as 68.17 kilonewton meter, so it is per meter width. okay, we are now calculating for 1.5 meter, we are considering for per meter of width. And for landing 2, the maximum bending moment is the distance. So for landing 2, the bending moment at distance of 1.65 meter from B will be calculated. okay, so it will be 48.78, that is reaction for VB multiplied by 1.65 minus 16.5 into 1.65 into 1.65 into 0.5, that is WL square by 2. Okay, so our bending moment for landing will be calculated as 58.03 kN meter. Okay, now we can go for the checking of depth. So for Fe415 our mu maximum will be 0.138 into FCK into B into D square. So this is, you can check from SP16 or IS code 456. Okay, IS code 456 or SP16. Okay, it is SP634. Okay, so on both the codes this value is given for Fe415. So you can go and check for different steel. For Fe500 the value is different, that is 0.138. so the constant was different for Fe500. Okay, so mu max will be 0.13 FCK B into D square. D is the effective depth. So if we consider for the waste slab, our moment for slab will be waste slab is 68.17. so our T will be calculated as this T 68.17 into 10 to the power 3. So we are converting it into Newton mm divided by 0.138 into FCK is 20 and into B. Okay, D is here, so our value will come as 157 mm. So we have provided the waste slab effective depth for waste slab as 224 mm, so it is less than this, so this will be safe. And for similar way for landing too, you have to check, that is 58.03 to 10 to the power 3 divided by 0.138 into 20 into 1000 for per meter of width, so it will come as 130 mm. So it is less than 174, so it is also safe for landing too. Okay, so if it is not safe, then we have to again increase the total depth. Okay, but here it is safe, so you can further proceed for the reinforcement calculation. Now for waste slab, so our ST formula for the calculation of reinforcement is 0.5 FCK into Fy in bracket 1 minus square root of 1 minus 4.6 into mu upon FCK BD square multiply B into D. So 0.5 into 20 upon 415 1 minus square root of 1 minus 4.6 into 68 for waste slab we are calculating, that's why we are taking 68.17 20 to the power 6 divided 20 into 1000 for per meter of width, and for effective depth of waste slab that is 224 mm, so 224 square and multiply by B into D. Okay, so it will come as 922 mm square. So we can also go for the ST minimum check, so it will come as 0.1 for HYSD by it is 0.12%, and for mild steel we can take for 0.15%. Okay, so it is 0.12 by 100 into 1000 for 1 meter of bed into 250 its total depth. So it will calculate as 300 mm square, so it is greater than this, so we can go with this. If it is less than ST minimum, so we can go with the minimum, but here it is more than this, so we can go with this. So our main steel will be calculated as, we are going to provide as 12 mm at 120 mm center to center, so it will, this area will be calculated as 942 mm square. How it is calculated? Area or dia bar of this, that is pi by 4 into D square multiply by 1000 divided by 120 mm, that is spacing. So this area will be calculated. Okay, similarly for distribution steel we should go with the ST minimum, So we are providing 8 mm of 160 mm center center. Its area will be calculated as 314 mm square, and this will be greater or equal to this 300. So it will be safe. So area will be calculated by the same method. Now for landing 2, that is mid landing, the AST will be calculated by the same as base slab formula. All you need to do is to take the effective depth for the landing 2 only. Okay, don't take the same value as 224, take the 174 that we have calculated for effective depth for landing 2. Okay, so its AST will be calculated as 1057 mm square and AST minimum as 240. So for AST minimum you have to take the D total depth of landing 2. Okay, that is 200 mm. So we are providing the area dia of 12 mm at 100 cm. So take the similar dia of bar as base slab, so it will be more easy to work on site. Okay, if you take different dia, that will be more difficult and also more not economical as per the site view. Okay, so we are going to take 12 mm f at 100 cm. Its area will be calculated 1130 mm square, so it is greater than this. It will be okay. For distribution we have to do with the same method. So we are going to take 8 mm of 160 similar to base slab, that is coming as 314 mm, that is more than 240 mm square. So it is also safe. Now we can go for the check for shear. Okay, so for shear what you have to do, you have to go for the nominal shear check, that is tau b. So its formula will be shear 4 by B into D. Okay, so shear force is calculated as 48.78 multiply with 1000 divided by 4 per meter of A into 24, that is the effective depth of base slab. So our nominal shear stress will come as 0.218 Newton per mm. So it is less than 0.28. So it will stay in shear. So it is given on table 19 of IS code 456. Okay, table 19 of IS 456. Okay, so this value is less than 0.28, so it is already safe in shear. And similarly for landing 2, tau is calculated, that is nominal shear is calculated as 48.78. So 48.78 into 1000 divided by 1000 into 170 for the effective depth of landing 2. So it will come as 0.28. So now we can, as it is percentage come as 0.28. So if it is less than 3.28, that will be already safe, but it is equal to, so we can go with the percentage still calculation also, that is 1130, that way we have provided, multiply by 100 divided by per meter of weight into 1000, 174, the effective depth of landing slab. So it will come as 0.65%. Now tau c is equal to 0.28 for this grade and for this percentage. Okay, so you can check for table 19 IS 456. I will show you also so you can easily understand. So here in this table 19, okay, on page number 73 of IS 456, if you will see here, our percentage coming is 0.65. So for 0.65 percentage, so its value will come between 0.5 and 0.75, and for M20 grade its value will come in between 0.48 to 0.56. Okay, so it is obvious that its value will be more than 0.28 that we have calculated. Okay, so it is greater than tau b here also, so it will be safe. Okay, you can calculate by interpolation also. Okay, so this tau c, that design shear strength, is more than our tau a, so it will be safe. Okay, its k value depend on your grade of the concrete. Okay, so similarly we can also check for the deflection. So for base slab, to find the percentage of strip for the deflection check, so it is 942 into 1100 divided by 1000 into 250d. So our percentage will come as 0.38. Okay, so our fs value will be calculated as, the formula for the fs calculation was 0.58 fy into area of steel calculated by area of steel provided. Okay, so it is mentioned in IS code 456 page 38. Page 38. Okay, so this will be a table for the calculation of fs. So from this we can get the modification factor. Okay, so our percentage is calculated 0.38 and our fs is calculated as 236. So 0.38 will come around here and it will go straight up to 236, so it will come nearby here, so we can take a value of 1.5 from this. Okay, so we have taken as the value mf as 1.5. so L by D maximum will be calculated as 20 into 1.5. what is 20? The basic value for simplicity. Okay, so it will come as 30, and what we have provided for base slab is 5.1 into 1000 divided by 224, so it will come as 23. So it is less than 30 mm that we have calculated maximum value. So this will be safe in deflection. Okay, so here for base slab we have plotted 2.7, not 5.1. 5.1 is the total length of your going. Okay, so we have to take the, for base slab our length is 2.7. okay, so our effective L by D ratio provided is 12 mm, so it is also less than 30 mm, so it will be safe in deflection. Similarly you can calculate for the deflection for the landing slab. Okay, by the same method. All you need to do, you have to provide the total depth of landing one. Okay, here how we have provided, so we have to provide the total depth of landing one, and here we have to provide the steel required and provided for landing one, what we have given calculator for reinforcement for landing one, landing two. Okay, for the calculation of deflection check for landing two. Okay, so in next lecture we will continue with the design of landing one. Okay, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.